All right.
Hi, I'm Andrew,
Hi, I'm Shelton.
and this is An Amazing Show.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall down.
In today's show,
We'll be looking to Anicom, TC Animation and Comic Society, and we'll be interviewing each of its members.
we take a trip down memory lane in our nostalgia section,
We review the latest Gundam series, Gundam Build Fighter Strike.
and we'll discuss the latest goings on in our news segment.
So, let's begin with the show. Hi, and we're back again on the An Amazing Show. Right now, I'm at Anicom, and I interview each of its members individually, and they'll give me their own opinion on the future of anime and Anicom. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, my first question is, what is Anicom?
Anicom is the Teesside University's Animation and Comic Society. It's essentially just a collection of like geeks and that are interested in animation and comics and nerdy things. It's a way for us to socialise and meet together with us.
Definitely developing in terms of different ideas for stories and stuff like that. Like it's no longer just people fighting like unachievable heights and stuff like that. It can also have like typical movie things, so like romance and comedy and all of this sort of thing.
What do you think is the future of anime, in your own opinion? Is it changing? Is it developing? Anything like that?
Well, yeah, it's changing all the time. Like, if you look at an anime that was made, say, in the 80s and compare it to something that was made just last year, for example, the styles, the general style has changed massively.
Yeah, there's definitely a change, especially with like plots as well. You see, like compared to 80s, 90s anime, today you have like more complex plots and more like there's deeper meanings behind like the storylines and stuff, and it can be quite dark as well.
So, did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it too. That was Anicom right now, and everyone you just saw there was a fellow member of Anicom and anime fan. Right now, we have Andy back in the studio interviewing one of its members called Peter. So, enjoy that. See you later.
And we're back. We're joined now by Peter, who will tell us a bit more about Anicom. So, Peter, what is it about Anicom that makes you go there?
Well, I've always been a fan of animation ever since I was very young. I used to watch all animated films, be it Disney or DreamWorks or what have you. And when I came to uni, I felt like I needed to make an effort to socialise, join a society, and so I thought, what better society to join than the one based around animation?
Well, of course. Like, what is it about? Like, is it just Western animation, or is it just a bit more?
No, we watch a variation of shows. Every other week we watch a Western film and Japanese film. We watch them bi-weekly. And every Thursday we watch a collection of different shows, stuff like Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, as well as all the animes and stuff like that.
You see, with Legend of Korra, what are your opinions of it tackling a bit more like serious issues like post-traumatic stress disorder and like lesbianism?
I think that it's fantastic. I think that it's not only does it tackle it in a really good way, but it's really important that these sort of issues are shown to children in a way that isn't condescending to them or too difficult for them to understand. And Legend of Korra tackles it in such a good way in that it's good for the children and the children can appreciate it, but it's also enjoyable for the adults to appreciate what they're seeing as well.
You said that you went last year to Anicom. Has it changed at all, or?
It's improved greatly. Last year the socializing aspect wasn't as good. There wasn't very much communication. The leadership didn't really listen to what people wanted to put on and just put on whatever they wanted. By lots of freshers were at the start of last year, and by the end of it there was 3, including me. This year there's new leadership. Everything's much better. There's a much greater social aspect to it. So it's far better, and as a result there's far more freshers who stayed on to stay in the society and pay for membership.
So whereabouts is it, and where do I go to get it?
Anicom is on every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6 o'clock in OL1.
Oh. Well, if you want to go to Anicom and see what it's all about, I mean, head on down, really. But we'll be back in a moment with our nostalgia section. But first, I'll just have to say thank you, Peter, for having you on.
No problem.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall down.
Welcome to the Nostalgia Corner, our look back at some of the shows that really shaped our childhoods and what they really mean to us.
That's right, Shelton. And today we'll be talking about the best shows we all watched as kids.
So, Andrew, what would you say was a defining show growing up?
Well, I, like many others, absolutely adored Pokemon growing up.
Really?
It was the truly Ashes never give up attitude that really got us into it. I mean, when he got into a battle, you didn't know if he'd win or lose, but you knew no matter what, he would try until he failed.
I mean, you mentioned you mentioned the kids nowadays being able to watch Ash and Pokemon, but what's your thoughts on shows like Digimon and Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh? You know, always have to be rebooted with new characters, new plot, new theme song. It's just not the same thing as I watched as a kid.
But it's still got the same heart, it's still got the same concept. And I've had the chance, because my mum's a childminder, to watch the latest Yu-Gi-Oh series, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zale. And kids can watch Yuma and Astral, and they have the same adventures similar to what Yugi and Yugi and the Pharaoh do. These kids can grow up, and they're still watching the same stuff as I did. It's nice.
But I mean, in my own personal opinion, I think, in my own personal opinion, who wants to keep watching the same shows constantly rehashed into just flat runs out of ideas? You know, I think they should just give way for new things.
I take it Beyblade is one of the things that you wish stay the same.
How do you know? Yes, Beyblade it was one of my favorites. You know, how cool it all was. Tyson and Kai, the Beyblade battles, the stadiums. Oh, it was the best.
Did you ever try and recreate it at all? Or?
Yeah, I remember the Beyblade battles, the stadiums. I remember my Dragoon was like one of the best in the playground. Whoever had the Beyblade Stadium was the king of the school. That was like the one kid you always had to look on. And that kid just became instantly, insanely popular because of that.
And, well, it was truly the days.
Yeah, they truly were. But you know, enough about the past, let's move into the present. We have done a review on the latest ongoings of anime, and it's a really good one, so watch it.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. It's a way of life, you gotta fall down.
Gundam Build Fighters Try is the latest in the ever-longing Gundam series and sequel series to last year's smash hit Build Fighters. For those who have lived under a rock for the past 30 years and have never even heard of Gundam, what it basically boils down to is really fucking awesome robots beating the shit out of each other. And Gunpla is the plastic models you can build and collect in real life to create your favourite mecha from the show.
Gundam Build Fighters proved last fall that taking a more down-to-earth approach with the series and following kids building and fighting with these models can more than work. And in my own personal opinion, eclipses the more mainline Gundam series.
So, following much of the same beats as its predecessor, but with a fresh new cast, Build Fighters Try follows three unlikely friends, the rash martial arts-obsessed Sekai Kamaki, the Gundam-obsessed Fumina Hoshino, and the cold, collected Gunpla builder Yuma Kosaka, brother of last series' China, as they form a team to try, see, it's a genius title, to win the Gunpla World Battle Championship Tournament. Puh, that's a mouthful.
It's a nice basic story, and it doesn't pretend to be anything it's not. Episodes are essentially split into two. The first half centers around our main trio, which is 1/3 slice of life, 1/3 comedy, and 1/3 romantic shipping feel. These parts end up being a lot of fun, and it does add a bit of variety to the proceedings. But unfortunately, the animation quality is not the best.
But that's because the budget goes on the latter half of the episodes, and it's here that the show really truly shines. The epic fight scenes, the clashing of mecha in multiple terrain with smart strategy and awesome moments galore. They look beautiful, they feel intense, and they're incredibly replayable.
That's the thing about Build Fighters Try, everything is paced nicely. I mean, the episodes can be watched again and again and again.
It's all just one crazy thrill ride that you need to see to believe.
Gundam may feature some pretty great fights, but there's one anime that's probably the pinnacle of epic, hour-long fight scenes, which brings us nicely to our new segment.
Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods was released in March 2013, with an English dub following later in August 2013.
Dragon Ball Z ended in January 1996, but it is considered one of the greatest animes ever made by Akira Toriyama. Battle of the Gods starts with the Buu Saga, where a new threat appears, called Lord Beerus, who appears to be the strongest Dragon Ball Z universe of all time.
When Goku can't defeat him alone, he must find the secret of the Super Saiyan God to win. Battle of the Gods is one of the greatest anime movies up to date, and it does heavily influence on the Dragon Ball Z franchise. IGN gave the English dub a 7.5 out of 10, praising the epic fight scenes and the thrill of the final battle. I strongly recommend Dragon Ball Z fans to watch it.
We are rooting for follow-up, and we're begging for Toriyama for more adventures. Lucky for us, the success of the movie has followed up a sequel announced already, and he's Andy with more.
Well, Shelton, you are correct. Dragon Ball Z Fukatsu no F, the 15th Dragon Ball Z movie, has been revealed. The Fukatsu in the title stands for resurrection, and the F means none other than classic iconic Dragon Ball villain, Frieza. That's right, folks, Frieza is back, and as what we can deduce from the key visual, he's going to be tougher than ever before.
The visual also reveals Lord Beerus from the Battle of the Gods, and as well as assistant Whis, and a show of two new characters, Sorbet and Toguma, who may be the key to Frieza's revival.
Frieza is a personal favourite villain of mine, so to say that I'm hyped is a severe understatement.
Unfortunately, it isn't all good news for the anime industry right now. A local Middlesbrough fan has just been found guilty of possessing indecent and downright paedophilic images drawn in anime style. This isn't the first time he's been found with these kind of offences, and it's unlikely he'll be the last. It does bring up a few questions though. I mean, with the rise of waifu, meaning choosing an anime wife, culture giving anime fans a really bad reputation.
It's people like this who have this collection of pornographic and paedophilic imagery of like characters, especially like child characters. It just sort of wants us to keep my enjoyment of these shows under wraps, just in case I be put in the same like camp as them. I mean, you have to question yourself, who's to blame? Is it us as a society who are ignoring them? Is it the people who make the images? Is it the people that hunt them down? I mean, there's just one thing we need. It just needs to stop. But luckily, in a bit brighter news, the English dub casting for Funimation's take on swing anime Free Eternal Summer has been announced. Todd Haberkorn, best known for Def the Kid from Soul Eater, plays protagonist Haru, a quiet boy who only swims freestyle. Best friend Makoto will be played by Johnny Young Bosch, also known as Ichigo from Bleach.
Comedy duo Nagisa and Ray will be played by Greg Aries and J. Michael Tatum respectively, and Haru's intense rival Rin will be voiced by the great Vig Mignogna, who anime fans will know best as Fullmetal Alchemist Edward Elric.
Overall, I think this casting news is fantastic, and there are some really strong voices here. I watched the sub during the summer, and the anime is bloody brilliant. And if you like sports animes, I implore you to definitely check it out when it hits.
Picking up speed, running out of time, going head to head. That's your way of life. You gotta fall.
Looks like that's all we have time for, but it's been a bit of a crazy ride, hasn't it?
It has, and as much as we'd love to continue, it's become the time for us to say goodbye.
That's right, but be sure to tune in next time for more great discussion, news and features.
But until then, it's cheerio from me,
It's goodbye from me.
and farewell from everyone in the studio.
See you next time!